Okay, so let's talk about wives who have pick me energy. Okay, let's talk about pick me energy in relationships. So I got this question, and this babe, she was like, Linda, I want a man who is clear about me, a man who assures me, a man who wants to be there for me, who wants to claim me, who is clear about our relationship. Hi Locha, hi everybody, hi Georgina, how are you? Hi Pauline. So let's talk about this. Now there's some wives who really don't realize just how much they lose themselves in their relationship. Let me put down this volume. Hi Francis. Okay, so they don't realize just how much they lose themselves in relationship. So you find that you are with a man, but yet you want him to give you direction for the relationship. Hi Sama, hi Maura, hi Nichelle, hi Piero, hi Francis, hi Nesh, hi. So drop your questions, and I'll be giving free relationship tips, insights into what I think. So feel free to let me know. Are you single? Are you married? Are you dating? What's going on? This is a free Q&A. Hey Mr. T, hi Nancy. So let's talk about such women who are waiting for a man to be clear about their relationship. And it's not just single women, wives. So this babe, she's in a relationship and she's going through a difficult time. But what she's telling me is, Linda, I want my man to be clear about the relationship, about the direction of the relationship. I want him to reassure me that everything is going on okay in the relationship. And you see, this is where the biggest challenge is. Okay. And I am actually running a program. It's a live program. Check it out in my profile. It's for women who are in a relationship but they are confused. They feel they will want to leave the relationship but they don't know whether they should stay or leave, especially married women, because at some point I actually thought I was going to get divorced. And I can imagine, I don't know how it would have been if I would have walked out of my relationship. It would have been a disaster because I realized I needed to do some work on myself. So back to women who are waiting for the men to give them direction for the relationship. What women don't realize is you are an individual first, minus the title of a wife, minus the title of a mom, versus the title, minus the title, all these titles that we are putting on ourselves. You are an individual. So the moment you want to wait for a man to decide about your relationship, so what about you? What does that say about you? You yourself are not clear about whether you want to stay in this relationship. You're not clear on your values. You're not clear on your goals. And this is what ends up making women lose themselves, and then they get stuck in some crappy relationships for the rest of their lives. And then what tends to happen is you have your children there observing you, a miserable mom, and then you want to blame everybody else. Meanwhile, you gave away your power because you never really felt worthy of getting the love that you deserve. Hi Annie, I'm doing awesome. Rooney, I don't know what you just typed there. How to get rid of masculinity, because living alone, I'm used to doing stuff alone. Okay. So you cannot get rid of masculinity because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. All right. So you need your masculine, this energy that made you go to school, earn your job, earn a living. You need that energy. Yeah, we all have masculine and feminine, the same way men also have feminine in them, even though they are predominantly masculine, especially the ones who choose to be masculine men. So it's not about getting rid of it because you have duality. You are a whole person with masculine and feminine. It's about learning to embrace your energy, especially if you are in romantic relationships. Okay, Nishal, trust that clarifies. Feel free to drop your questions. So I think the first thing would be to look at what is it that, what is stopping you? What is stopping you from, first of all, why do you want to get rid of this masculinity? It would be interesting to know that. And then what is stopping you from embracing more of your feminine energy? Okay. So drop your questions. Hey, Emily. Hey, Anne. Hey, Martin. Drop your questions. I'll be doing a Q&A. I'm actually doing a Q&A. So if you have any relationship questions, let me know. Are you married? Are you single? What's currently happening in your life? I do have a program that's upcoming for women in relationships, especially married women, because if you feel you are in between, you don't know whether you should leave or stay, feel free to check out. Don't be too quick to rush to get divorced. Don't be in such a hurry to break up your relationship. Chances are there are some things you don't know about yourself. And in fact, the other day, this divorced man really, he made a comment that made me think quite deeply. And he was like, Linda, you're right, because it was until I got divorced and I'm going through therapy, I'm getting coached, this is when I'm learning about this whole inner work. I've never had to unlearn a lot of the stuff that I picked up in my childhood and in my programming. And he was like, I wish I knew this information earlier. We probably would not have gotten divorced with my wife. Okay. So if you're in between your relationship and you're preparing to get married, check out to get divorced, check out my program. Or even if you are, your fiancé has broken up with you, you're going through heartbreak, check out this program. It's actually inner work that will help you really stay grounded and get clear on what your relationship goals are. And part of the process, and this is just a byproduct, if you want your man back, somehow this will happen, because what tends to happen is when a woman starts to fall deeply in love with herself, her energy changes. She's no longer desperate. She's no longer needy. She's no longer chasing for this man's love. And all of a sudden, you become attractive again. So, yeah, this is the inner work that you need to get started. Hey, Silva. Hey, KD. So drop your questions. Let me know what's going on. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Maxi. Hey. And if you are not yet following, hey, Mr. Mautamu. Hey, Tito. Hi, Elizabeth. Drop your questions. Let me know. Are you in a complicated marriage? Are you in a relationship? What's going on there? I've just done an IG live and I love your hair. Yeah, thank you so much. Who's this guy called? They're on Instagram, Artificial Locks. Yeah, artificial. Check out on Instagram, Artificial Locks. He's such a nice guy. So KD, let's talk about you. What advice would you, how would you want me to help you? Hey, Maxi, hey. Yeah, so I've just come from doing an IG live, and one of the hottest topics is always around women and control, especially married women. They don't really realize how controlling they are when it comes to their men. So they end up pushing men away. And then what tends to happen, you'll find in a relationship, there's this permanent war. It's like a woman wants control and a man wants control. So what tends to happen? You pull away until it just gets torn. So what do you advise when you feel the relationship is drifting away? Oh my goodness, Annie. In fact, you are the perfect person. Check out my profile. The first thing you need to do is take a mental break. Don't even try to fix anything. And this is the biggest mistake wives are making. Your man is pulling away. In fact, the other day, this babe, I think she must have, I don't know. She DM'd me and she's like, Linda, my husband has decided he's moving out and I can't seem to get him to work on the relationship. This is the number one mistake. If your relationship is drifting apart, if your man is drifting apart, let him go. Let him go. Yeah, women want to chase. Wives want to chase. You know what you need to realize is by the time he's pulling away, the relationship is disconnected. He's not feeling it. And even you are not feeling it. You've reached a point where there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of bitterness. And the worst thing you could try to do is to hold on to it. Okay, so what needs to, and I've even seen there's a pastor here and servants of God who've joined me. Welcome. Yeah, I really don't preach the Bible, but well, hey, here we are. So the first thing is take a mental break. This is the perfect time, Annie, for you to focus on yourself, to get clear on yourself, to do your inner work. This is the perfect time for you to just take a mental break from this relationship. Because what happens is, by the time the relationship is drifting away, you will find a woman has invested so much time, energy, she keeps having the same conversations over and over again. Nothing is changing. Why? Because romance is not a logical thing. You cannot talk your way into making a man love you. Okay, so what I would advise is take a mental break. Okay, if it's drifting, take a mental break from it. Work with a coach, work with a mentor, just put that energy back onto yourself. That is the first step. And then the second step is also really to understand that, okay, fine, what led to this relationship drifting away? Are there things about yourself that you need to work on? And one of the biggest thing, and I notice a lot of men listen to my content, and I keep seeing this word over and over again, accountability. It took me a long time to be accountable for some of the bullshit I was doing in my relationship. Excuse my French. Women, we like to bypass. We like to think, oh my God, he's staying out till 6 in the morning. Oh my God, he's not spending money. Oh my God, all this and all that. But okay, so what role did you have to play? What role did you have to play? So that's the second thing, really understanding, getting the right relationship skills. Because trust you me, if this man once loved you, once you start to focus on yourself, he will start to come back. And then at that point, it's not for you to go and a wise woman would actually take that chance to express what it is that she feels, but you cannot do it from this level you are on. Okay, so you can imagine it's like right now you're a toddler. It's like you're a toddler. Yeah, you've just started. Okay, I'm a mom, so I'll use this example. Right now, when your relationship is drifting, it's like you've just started weaning. You've just started making soups. So what happens is you want your child to eat meat, but they are not yet ready to eat meat. You still need to feed him with solids before he gets used to eating solid food. So that is how slow you need to take your relationship. So focus on yourself, get clear, understand what are some of the issues that you also brought into the relationship, work through those insecurities and fears such that by the time he comes back or when you feel ready, depending on the relationship, you're able to have the relationship talk. And this talk is not just for you to go and say this and that. It's really for you to also find out whether this is the right relationship for you. Okay, so I'm married, but I'm not happy at all, but I love my wife. Okay, so I cannot speak for men, but one thing I know, and I can connect because as a person, I reached a point where I used to expect my husband to fulfill me. Okay, now we are individuals. I am a woman. Outside being a wife, being a mom, being a creator, being a mentor, I am a person. So for as long as you do not know who you are as a person first, what you want and why, you will be in a career, you will be in a relationship, you will be in all these things, you make all the money in the world, but you will never be fulfilled. Why? Because you are still not yet self-aware. What happens when you're self-aware? And you see, for me, I had to work with so many coaches and mentors because I realized I had like a high-flying job. On paper, I had it. And then I had a home, a marriage, even if it was whatever. I had a husband, I had children, but I was still so empty. Why? Because I was not living in my truth. And you can only live in your truth when you are self-aware. This work is never about your man or your woman or your child. People avoid really becoming self-aware, and they think marriage, money, and all these things will fulfill them. For as long as you're not self-aware, for as long as you're not living your truth, whatever your truth is, you will find you're constantly struggling. You will always look for outlets that will still not fulfill you. Okay, so I mean, that was just my perspective, KD. Let me know if that lands. All right. So you can give a woman everything, but when you do not know how to communicate with her emotion. Okay. That's an interesting one. I don't believe in love marriage. They do not work. Okay, I mean, that's you, Ed. Eh? That's your choice. Everyone is entitled to their choice. What do women want if a man is providing everything you want? Okay, so this is a really good question. And I'm happy you asked me. So, as a woman, okay, and I'm sure some of you saw this growing up where you had a father, or you'd see the masculine role, how it was always portrayed. The man goes to hunt, brings home the bacon, then he comes home, sits in front of the TV with a newspaper, and is reading. He never engages with anybody else. It's like he's a walking wallet. So there are three things a woman wants, especially a mature, healthy woman. I'm not talking about all this, I'm talking about a mature, healthy woman who is self-aware. She wants a provider, financially first, because as women, naturally we submit. We are more in our feminine. We feel more secure. We feel more at ease. We feel more relaxed when we are with a man who can look after us financially. That's just how we are wired. Anybody will tell you whatever else, but that's just how feminine women are. So providing financially, fine, you've done that. Then there's the emotional connection. That's why it's not enough. It's not enough just to throw the black card there and then you go. Yeah, we also want that emotional connection. And it does not have to be like you're under our skin 24/7, but just time together. Small things like date nights, asking me, babe, how are you? We love that emotional connection where we feel that, wow, our man is still there. It doesn't have to be 24/7 because we all need space, but we need that emotional connection. So that's number 2. And then number 3, we need to be satisfied in bed. Let's not beat around the bush because we are grown people. And I'm really interested in this topic of sexuality. Now I'm going to talk about it. I'm really interested in the topic of sexuality because one of the things that keeps coming up when I do all these consultations and I speak with so many women are angry. Women are angry. They're carrying a lot of pain from childhood. They're carrying a lot of pain from their past failed experiences, and they're carrying all this pain into their marriages. But then, so they're not processing that pain. That's number 1. Then the other thing is women are also very disconnected sexually. Yeah? So you will find there are so many women who are married, but they've never come. Okay? To make a woman happy, provide for her financially, be there for her emotionally, communicate in whatever way, date nights, all these small little things. It doesn't have to be too much because, we all need that space, but be there for her emotionally, then also look after her in bed. All right. And I think what also helps a lot, Ed, is if you also understand your woman's love languages. Yeah, it may sound weird, but for me, when we did this love language thing, this was like a year ago, I was mind blown because I didn't realize that how my husband expresses love with acts of service. You see, these things that us as women, we take for granted. Like imagine your man takes your car for you to the garage, he fills up the tank, he, makes sure the groceries are done. Like there's some men who express love that way. But then us as women, we tend to take that for granted and we feel that's a man's role. But maybe you, the way you want to receive love is with gifts. So love languages, understanding each other's love language is important. So now I really appreciate anything my husband does. Like right now he took us for breakfast. My nanny has been away for like a few days. I say thank you because he's really just choosing. That's a way of himself, like that's how he expresses love. And once I knew that he expresses love by doing such acts, I appreciate it. And then also I've learned to express what is my love language, gifts. So small things like those can also really help so that you really understand what your woman wants. I know it sounds a lot, but well, hey, it's part of relationship skills. So even if you choose not to believe in love, it really is a choice, okay? So you can give a woman everything, but when you do not know how to communicate, yeah, that's true. So there has to be an emotional connection. And it's true, there is someone for everyone. So let's see here. If you, let's see. Yeah, some interesting comments here. What have I skipped? Let's see. Let me go back. Hey guys, today is Soulful Sunday. There's a lot of comments. Yes. So Dorcas, even if yeah, that is so true. But one step further, we need to feel at home and safe with the man we love. Let's take it a step deeper. Can you recognize a healthy man? Yeah? Do you, and this is something as women we have to ask ourselves. Do you know whether the man you are with, like when you get a good healthy man, can you notice that is a good healthy man? Because so many women are used to chasing dysfunction, chasing toxicity. Then they say that they are looking for healthy love, yet they can't even appreciate a great man who is in front of them. And this is where inner work is really important. So that you recognize a healthy man, okay? Then you choose to be with a healthy man, which means you say yes. You're not pushing away because he's nice or you think he's weird, because he's different. With this man, you're not struggling with him. You're not chasing anything. He's actually giving you attention, affection, appreciation. But because that love is so unfamiliar, you push it. Yeah? So even us as women, we have a role to play so that we recognize healthy love, we choose healthy love, and then know how to stay in this energy of enjoying healthy love. Yeah? Because so many women say they want one thing, but when it comes, they push it away. They don't even know what healthy love is like. Okay. We are all emotional creatures. Like there's a level of emotion in everything. Okay. If she just wants your money. Okay, so how do you emotionally connect with a woman? How do you emotionally connect? This one is interesting. You know what? Because if I think about what makes me happy, it's really in the small things. Okay. So like for instance, if my husband upsets me, we are human beings, and I'll express and say, oh babe, that comment hurt me. Then he's like, oh, I didn't realize, I'm sorry. Do you know that's emotional connection for me? Yeah? But you see, in that process, it takes for me to be able to express what I'm feeling. Then even if I'm expressing what I'm feeling, he's acknowledging it. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize, I'm sorry. So if he throws in a gift, I'm happy. But if at least he acknowledges what it is that I am feeling. It's in those little small things. And sometimes we think it's this big thing that we have to do. No. It can be as little as that. So Hush Puppy, I don't know if this is you're dating or you're married, because I'm speaking from a married woman's perspective. Okay, I love my guy so much. I earn way above him, but thing is, he's still a lot. Oh my goodness, mercy. This one, yeah, trifecta. And I always say we have choices. There is a reason why you've chosen to be with someone who earns less than you. Yeah, that one, there's no respect, there's no amount of TLC, there's no amount of anything. Because if you're looking to be with a healthy masculine provider man, someone who can look after you, he needs to be making more money. At least making more money than you. Otherwise, this dynamic is backwards and it just won't work. For marriage, you will struggle. You will struggle with this one. Yeah? When do you know it's the right time to move in, to get children, etc.? So, Wanjiko, has he asked you? Even before we go to, has he asked you? What are your values? Like, whatever you value, what are your values? And is this guy meeting your standards as a person? Because what I've come to see is women just, they date with a very shallow vision, okay? So maybe a guy has been around you for long and he's decided to propose to you. The question is, he is proposing, but what are your requirements? And this is where, as women, we have to become very, very clear. What are your requirements? What do you value? For me, it's never a right time to move in. Has he proposed? Has he proposed? You do that when you're married. Move in, get children, do that stuff when you're in a marriage. That's why marriage exists. Because it is a commitment. That's how a man invests and says, yes, this woman is the one for me. And once you're in a marriage, it's a very different dynamic. Not this can we stay thing that I see going on all over the place. Yeah, if he doesn't have money and you want money, leave. Yeah, don't stress each other. Don't stress each other. If he doesn't have money and you want someone who can look after you, don't make your life complicated. Eh? There's no advice there. The advice there you already know is you leave. Okay, why? When you can't be able to communicate with a woman's emotion and tune into it. So so what tends to happen is, if a woman is not expressing, and there's a big gap. When I talk about, like, I looked at some of my highest performing what are these things called? TikToks, money and communication. Okay, so there's a big issue. Many women, we don't know how to communicate. And even me, I used to think I'm talking, but I'm not. The stuff was not landing. It was not landing with my husband. So for you can't know what she's feeling unless she's able to express her feeling, Jaffa. So that's how you know. When your woman expresses your feeling, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, then that's when you can be able to tune into it. Otherwise, you shouldn't be able to guess. You can't guess what I'm feeling. We are complex. And that's why it takes a mature woman to be able to sit in a relationship, because she should be able to explain. Then, from there, you're able to tune into it. Okay. Mercy, we've already closed your conversation. There's no trying. Wanjiko, do not mislead. Don't mislead people, huh? Don't. This is how people end up settling. There's nothing about, is he comfortable, is he trying? You want to pick up a project, unless you're looking to pick up a project. There are some women who have deep issues. They want to pick half man, half boy child, whatever you want to call it. Then you want to start fixing him. That is number one reason why some of you women end up in crappy relationships. Okay, but that also comes from, what are your standards? What do you believe you're worth? Because if you believe you're worth half a boy, half a man, then you will look for a project to go and fix. Okay. So, Ed, that really is up to you. That really is up to you. Yeah? we are women and we do have our emotions. We have a role to play where we should also be able to ground ourselves, because my husband is not my shrink. Yeah, so I should not just be coming with this whole emotional thing 24/7. That is where, as women, we also do our own work to know what emotions are we presenting to you and what emotions are they just for us. So it really takes a lot of maturity, okay? But for sure, that is our woman's world. But it also helps, and this is why I really advocate for women to do their emotional healing work. So many women are walking around with so much pain, so they are like a cyclone. You can't sustain a relationship when you're like a cyclone. So do some of your work, some of your emotions, you go and get your coach, get your mentor, get your therapist to help you deal with that. Then you know which emotions you're presenting to your husband, okay? So sometimes he pushes. Okay, so there's some struggle bus conversation going up there. I'm not part of that. So what is this? If you're finding it, I don't know. Let's see what I missed in there. So please feel free to check out my program if you're at the relationship is like a radio, so no. Okay, whatever. That's up to you, Jaffa. That's up to you. That's up to you. I'd love to know, are you married? Are you single? Yeah, it would be interesting. Okay. So when do you... Okay, this babe, I already answered her. Oops. So feel free to check out my profile. If you don't follow, feel free to follow. I do have an upcoming class for women in complicated relationships. If you don't know whether you should stay or whether you should leave, come, let's do your inner work so you can get clear. Okay. All right. So any other questions, any other comments? It's Sunday. I think I need to go now. Thank you so much. Being given silent treatment in a long distance marriage is oof. So I think for me, June, my question there is, for how long are you going to do a long distance marriage? It's difficult. Like for me, I don't even encourage long distance relationships. They are tricky. Yeah? Because there are some who navigate it, but most don't navigate it. Like you'll find the babe has seen a guy once a year. How is that a relationship? So June, I think for me, this long distance on his own, even before this silent treatment, is a big issue. When a long distance, I'm tired. Yes, it can be tiring. I can only imagine. So I don't know what the details are, but by the time there's silent treatment going on in there, there's a lot of resentment and disconnection in the relationship. But I would need more detail before I can help. But yes, if there's silent treatment, that relationship is drifting apart. But even before anything, the long distance is a big issue. I don't know what your arrangement is. Feel free to message me privately, then we could work out through the kinks. Thank you, Jolly. Thank you so much. All right. So guys, have a beautiful Sunday. Spread the love. All right. Bye-bye.